Hi everyone. Today I'm going to offer you a yin class with a teeny bit of yang. We're going to work a little bit on strengthening and stretching the hips, and the same with the shoulders. And of course, there'll be some spinal flexing and twisting as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so come to sit up on a blanket or block. Sitting up tall, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears, pulling up through the spine, reaching the crown upward, dropping the sit bones downward. And then close the eyes. We'll just take a few deep breaths into the bottom of the lungs. Let the belly move outward with the breath. Exhale, draw the belly button in as you release the last bit of air. Again, inhale, fill. Belly, the sides, and the back. Exhale. Navel to spine. And again, inhale, filling up. Exhale. One more full breath. And as you release, let the head drop forward, bringing the chin toward the chest, allowing the back of the neck and the space between the shoulder blades to lengthen. Breathe into the upper back. And then bring the right ear over the right shoulder. Keep the jaw relaxed. So, Elche, bring your ear right over your shoulder. Yeah, like so. Chest is still lifted, tailbone is still dropped. You can rotate the head to look up while still leaning to the right shoulder. It's almost like you're trying to put the back of your head on your right shoulder. And then rotate the head so you're bringing your chin to the right shoulder. Deep breaths. And again, rotate up. And then down. Release the head back to center, chin to chest. Breathe between the shoulder blades. Keeping the chest lifted, bring the left ear over the left shoulder. Jaw stays relaxed, shoulders are dropping down, still breathing fully. And then rotate the head upward as if you were laying the back of the head on your left shoulder. And then rotate the head downward. Chin toward the left shoulder. And then rotate up. And down. And then swing the chin back to the chest. Inhale, right ear over right shoulder. Exhale, chin back to chest. Inhale, left ear over left shoulder. And chin back to chest. And slowly roll the head back up. So today we'll do prayer pose behind the back. So fingertips come together behind your back. So your fingers touch, palms face down. And maybe over time you're able to slide the hands together and up the back. And don't force it. Just whatever your shoulders and your elbows and your wrists will allow for today. Sitting up tall. Relax the shoulders down. Let's take long, deep breaths. Try not to arch your back either, so send your tailbone down. Relax your hands against your back. Breathe up and behind the shoulder blades. A few more deep breaths. And you can actually move the head around here just to see if you can get into the neck shoulder connection a little bit more. And then we'll let the hands slide down the back. Bring the hands out in front of you. Let them rest on your thighs for a moment without really moving things around. Take a deep breath or two. And then we'll prepare the wrists. Bring the fingertips to the floor, palms facing forward, hands coming down onto the mat. Now, don't worry about how far down the palms touch. Just have them coming in this direction. Now, if they're all the way down, bend your elbows back toward you. So the heel of the hand is being elevated slightly. This really gets the stretch into the forearms and the wrists. Keep taking deep breaths. Okay, they should be good by now. Let's dangle them upside down, shake them out. Okay, so let's do a bit of a hip opener before we get moving, okay? I'm going to suggest a cross-legged forward bend or the fire log. So either your feet are under your knees or you're piling one shin on top of the other. Now, not every day is the same. Maybe one day you can do this and another day it's not so easy. So be mindful not to overdo anything. And you might want to reach for something in front of you. So have a block there. Whenever you're ready. Oh, by the way, if you're still sitting on something, you might need to come off of that. And then hinge forward, gradually coming to the point of your edge, wherever that is. And we'll stay here and take some long, deep breaths. Still taking deep breaths into the back. Okay, let's take one more full breath. And then slowly come on up. Now before we leave this position, whichever leg you have in front or on top, okay, you're going to place a block over to that side of you. And then you're going to lean to that side. You can place your forearm on the block, however far over you can go. You can start by placing your right hand on the waist. And eventually, you may want to reach the arm overhead. We'll hold here for just a minute or so, taking deep breaths into that exposed side. Take one more deep breath. And then just rotate forward and sweep back to center. And then we will roll up. And then we'll switch the legs. So whichever one was in front will now be in behind or underneath. And when doing this, make sure you're not sickling through the ankle. So you want to have the ankles able to stay stable in their proper position. You can also flex that foot. Okay, so we're bringing the block in front of us and we're rounding the back and leaning forward. And when you're at the point of discomfort, back up just a tiny bit and we'll stay here for a little while, breathing into the back. Relaxing through the hips and the low back, and continue filling the back of the lungs with the breath. All right, so a few more deep breaths here. And very slowly roll up. And then bring your block to the other side. And then we'll start to lean toward it. You can place your opposite hand on the thigh or the waist and maybe massage it a little bit. And when you're ready, you can reach the arm over the head, make a long line on that side, and breathe into it. Take one more deep breath here. And then rotate the chest down, sweep across to center, and then slowly roll up. Okay, well, perhaps it's time for a little movement. So let's undo the legs for a moment. Get yourself a blanket. We're going to lay it across the mat for our knees. So let's start off with basic spinal flexes. Coming into table position, arch the back, inhale, look up. Exhale, round and curl the spine. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round and curl the spine. Again, arch and round. And come back to neutral. Look over the right shoulder at the right foot. Take a deep breath. And exhale to center. Over the left. And exhale to center. One more time over the right. And back and left. And back. Okay, let's just do some movement through the spine. So you can kind of swish around. You can do spirals. So a little bit of the side to side, a little bit of the round and arch. All right, and come back to center. We'll do a little bit for the hips now. Let's start with big circles with the right leg out to the side. Big circles. Okay, and then big circles the opposite way. Okay, now we're going to hold the leg out to the side with the knee bent or straight and lift, 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 lift. Out to the side and lift. Good, lift, lift, lift. Breathe. Good, and then hold it up there. And then we're going to swing the leg back behind us, as far over as you can, and then back to the side. Back like you're squeezing the butt. Squeeze. Squeeze. It's really just the leg moving. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. One more. Squeeze. Turn the heel to the ceiling and kick up. So we're going to do something different today. Let's hold it here. After we hold it, we're going to bring this leg into pigeon. So immediately we'll release that muscle. Bring that leg forward. Bring the right knee toward the right wrist and slide the left leg back. Your right foot can creep towards your left wrist as far as your right knee will allow. And then press into the hands and lift up through the chest. And you can come down onto the forearms if you like. Let the head rest down. Just a few more breaths here. And actually, before we leave, let's creep over to the right side of our leg so that we're kind of in front of our right knee now. We'll hold this for a couple more breaths. And then come back to center and push yourselves up. We're going to divide this up with a downward dog. So turn your back toes under, push back into the hands, lift the hips, heels down, hips up. Take a few deep breaths. You can even walk the dog here. Straighten one leg, bend one leg, and then switch. And switch. And switch. Okay, come back down onto your knees, and we're going to do the same thing with the left side. So in table position, bring that left leg out and we'll make big circles. And then we'll switch in the opposite direction. Okay, you should be ready now to hold the leg out to the side and lift, lift, lift. Now you can do this with the legs straight as well to make it a bit harder. Good. And then we'll hold it up there. And then swing the leg back, squeeze the butt, and back to the side. And back, and side, and back, and side, and back, and side, and back, and side. One more, back, side, and back. Turn your heel to the ceiling and kick. Good, and then hold it up there. And we'll sweep the leg through into pigeon. So the left knee comes toward the left wrist and the left foot toward the right wrist, as far as your knee allows, and then slide the right leg back, push into the hands and lift the chest. We're going to stay upright for a little bit. Taking deep breaths. All right, you can come onto your forearms now. Let the head rest down. Take long, full breaths into the back. Keep breathing deeply. And then you can walk yourself over to the left side and lean over your left knee for a few breaths. Be very careful not to, push too far forward. Maybe on this angle you need to come up a bit higher. And then come back to center and come back up into downward facing dog. Let those hips move around here. You don't have to keep them all, parallel and stiff and still. Just wiggle them around in different ways. Swing them from one side to the other. And take one more deep breath. And then bring the knees down to the mat or the blanket. Bring your forearms to the floor. Interlace your fingers. We'll do a little for the shoulders now. Press back into the legs, lifting the pelvis. So we're in dolphin position. And we're going to swing forward, bringing our chin to the thumb and back again. Nice and slow. We'll do this about 10 times. Keep breathing. One more. And then bring the knees back to the floor. Part them a little wider. Sink back into extended child's pose or heart-melting pose. So your hips are over your calves. Your arms are out in front. Your forehead is resting down and the chest is sinking toward the mat. Breathing deeply, especially toward the underarms. You can also bring the palms together, bend the elbows, and come into prayer pose with the hands behind the head. Keep letting the chest drop. Right, let's extend the arms back down to the floor again. Keep your left hand down and take your right hand, slide it across the mat under your chest, and we're coming into a slightly twisted version of this. You're still letting the chest drop toward the floor, but you're rotating the chest upward. So press to the left hand and twist to face up. Let's take a few deep breaths. And then we're going to come back into the starting position. Take the left hand across the mat under the chest, press into the right hand and rotate the chest upward. And breathe. Just another breath here. And then roll forward, bring both hands to the floor and push back into child's pose. So now you can reach the arms forward or back, whichever way feels best for you. Let the hips sink down over the heels. Take a few more deep breaths. Okay, Place the hands on the floor. Use them to push you up, round your back. Let your head hang. Coming all the way up. All right. So from here, we'll come onto our backs. You can bring your pillow under your head. Hug your knees into your chest. When you're ready, lower the legs down to the left side, opening up the right arm and shoulder to the floor, coming into twist. You can use the left hand to hold the top knee. Keep breathing into the back. Let the right shoulder drop to the mat. If you want to take the twist deeper, you can wrap the top leg around the bottom leg, just as long as your back is okay with it. Breathing deeply into the back. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. And then we'll unravel the legs, draw the belly button toward the spine, bring the knees right back to the chest for a hug. When you're ready, we're going to lower the legs down to the right side. Open up the left arm and shoulder to the floor. Pause here for several breaths, filling the back of the lungs. If you like, you can wrap the top leg around the bottom leg to come in a bit further, but only if your back is okay with it. Keep letting that left shoulder drop down. Continue breathing into the back of the lungs. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. As you exhale, draw the belly button toward the spine, unravel the legs, bring the knees into the chest as you roll onto your back. Give them a hug. And so you can come into Shavasana here or into supported bridge with the block under the pelvis. Press down into the feet, lift the pelvis, slide the block underneath just the sacrum. Part the feet to the width of the mat and drop the knees inward. And we'll rest here for a few minutes. Relax the jaw. Allow the eyes to be heavy in their sockets. All the facial muscles are relaxing. Low back is especially relaxing. Continue breathing deeply, especially into the back of the lungs, as you let the low back release toward the floor. Take 3 more deep breaths. And then draw the navel to the spine, bring the knees into the chest for a hug. And then when you're ready, we'll push the block out from underneath us. Roll to your side. And then take your time pushing yourself up. Coming to a comfortable seated position. Sitting up tall, let's bring the hands together at the heart. Take a deep breath in. Namaste.